Orders are as follows. Good morning, cadets. Welcome back to our Star Trek Resurgence playthrough. Where we last left off, we have repair to do to the shuttle. Okay, move, tap control. Maybe diagnostics. Alright, begin diagnostic. And let's see what we can find.
So, I know about your talk with Miranda.
You do?
She sent me a Priority 1 dispatch right after your conversation.
Of course she did.
I'm happy for you. Both of you.
Thanks.
But I'm only going to tell you this once. Don't screw this up. Because I would be very unhappy if you tried this out and then, I don't know, 6 weeks or 6 days later, I have to start splitting holidays between the two of you. All because things went south and you're not on speaking terms. That just isn't gonna work for me.
Don't worry, that
And
won't happen.
I know you'll respect that.
Yep, won't happen.
That's not gonna happen, okay? And why are you even going there? We haven't even gone on a date yet.
I just want you to know where I stand. I like my friends and I like our group. I don't want to lose that. Is that thing done yet?
Yeah, it's wrapping up. Let's see. The relays along the primary EPS are blown. The backup relays are all intact.
An EPS overload from the warp drive could cause that. But how did the shuttle end up dead in the water?
Huh. Well, maybe the ship's data recorder can tell us something.
Alright, let's see. Come on, Carter. Yeah, okay. That was weird. And...
Here.
They were only about 8 minutes from their plotted warp point. No faults, just those warnings. What are they?
Error 404 not found.
The warp field became inverted suddenly.
I've seen this happen when the center warp coil cracks.
A cracked warp coil throws a fault code.
Still, we should take a look.
Okay, then... Warp cascade.
There was a complete warp cascade failure.
Wow. They're lucky the shuttle didn't turn inside out.
Makes me think the computer panicked on the warp field equation.
Oh. Then...
Subspace variance out of tolerance. What does that mean?
It means the main navigation array lost sight of space somehow.
Will the array going offline cause that?
Yes, but it should have also thrown a fault code. Any one of these failures should have thrown a fault.
If it was caused by a system failure.
None of this caused the relays to blow. Roll forward to when that happened.
Yes, ma'am.
Right, hold up. So what do you mean lost sight of space? Huh.
So here, they take a moment to get their bearings and they attempt to re-engage the warp drive.
There. That's the relays blowing.
And then they started to drift.
And look, there's another warp system alert.
They're all the same. Subspace variance out of tolerance, or warp inversions. Finally, there's a complete warp cascade failure.
Then it's one of two things. Either a warp coil is cracked or the navigation array is offline.
That makes sense.
Divide and conquer. You want to check the warp coils or the navigation array? I'll check the other. Let's not overcomplicate this. One of these systems is likely broken.
I'll handle the warp coils.
I'll check the nacelles for a cracked coil.
Tricorder usage. Your tricorder can record and analyze data. Looking through it will reveal the unseen. Okay, press to keep the holster. Scan glowing objects. You must be close to some objects to scan them. Watch the frame of the screen to see if you're too far away. Got it. Ooh, this looks nice. Deep scan. Some objects you scan will activate a deep scan. During a deep scan, use Q&E to switch between different scan modes and search for glowing objects. Alright. The mode indicators on the tricorder will blink if there's an object to find in that mode. When you have scanned all the objects, the frame will change color. Hold to analyze. The standby state work coils produce a residual electromagnetic field. No deviations detected. That's fine. Sinusoidal coil cluster. The center coils guide the warp field through its focal event, maintaining a collimated thrust vector. No fractures detected. Then bio. Really, we're gonna find something in bio? Wait, what's that? Ah, that's just the light. Chemical. Okay. Polyferrite depositions. The leading coils show evidence of routine maintenance to repair micro abrasions from neutrino interaction. Neutrino. You mean like micro wormholes? Oh.
I checked every coil on the port nacelle for imbalances. If any coil in either engine were cracked, I would have detected it. So, it must be the navigation array.
Except it's not. Checked and double-checked.
Well, the readings don't lie.
Here comes the security detail for the way team.
Hey.
I'm not here.
We're escorting the negotiating team to the surface as soon as they come down from the bridge. I don't want to interrupt some important work. I was just hoping to see you before I go. The captain and the others will be here any minute now. Should be an interesting ride down to the surface.
Oh, always time for you.
Come on, I'm never too busy to make time for you.
That's not true.
No. But I am glad you came by.
No, that's more accurate.
I gotta be precise with you, huh?
Hey, Maris. Aren't these those button pushers you're always hanging out with?
And you're the phaser jockeys we always beat in Parisi squares, right?
All aboard for Hotari.
That another one of the captain's railroad things?
Gotta be. I just usually zone out by the time he gets to the whole, steam engines were the warp drives of their day part. Catch y'all later.
You don't want to miss your train.
I do have to go. Not gonna lie, I'd rather not leave right now.
Ooh.
More important things on my mind.
Should we go for it? Yeah. You only live once.
That was nice.
Yeah, it was.
Save some of that for when I get back.
You got a deal.
Be seeing you.
There she goes. And she loved that, right? I just check real quick. Miranda won't soon forget her romantic kiss with Carter when they were saying goodbye in the docking bay. Alright, hopefully she doesn't die. Anyway, I'm just curious. I just wanted to backtrack a bit. I saw the mention of neutrino. Again, is it something possible related to like wormholes or something along those lines? Because if I remember correctly, I might be mistaken. Weren't it in DS9 or Deep Space Nine, the show that they were checking for neutrino emissions when some things happened with a wormhole? I'm not gonna spoil more. I'm just curious.
Etzelarda Diaz. If you could float back down to reality, we still have a ways to go. All right, where were we?
So, the warp coils in the navigation array are fine, but the nav computer doesn't seem to think so.
I'm out of ideas short of field stripping the shuttle from bow to stern.
You wanna take this out of the shuttle and throw it on the bench?
Oh, real hands-on maintenance. I like it. Okay, the nav computer is patched into the ship.
The ship's computer can double-check our work. If the shuttle's nav computer is putting out false data, we'll know it.
Let's run through the shuttle's logs again.
Running now.
Okay, so yeah, that's again, I'm going backtrack to the neutrino emissions. That might be connected with a thing that the shuttle or the computer lost sight of space. And what do you mean lose sight of space? Unless you go like in subspace or different corridors, you know, layers that's not in normal space. So maybe it was like a brief moment, entered a quick wormhole and just got out, and then the computer was all crazy. I'm just throwing the theory out there. It might not be anything related to that.
Same. Warp field inversion and a cascade failure. However, the Resolute computer doesn't show the same subspace variance.
We're in the same conditions that the shuttle was in when it failed. Why wouldn't the ship's computer get a matching result?
What if the subspace variance was a momentary occurrence?
That's a possibility, and it would explain why the simulation under our current sensor readings failed to reproduce the issue.
But a subspace anomaly strong enough to cause a warp field collapse would leave graviton ripples for days.
Let's run with the momentary subspace variance theory for now. Roll forward to the shuttle's attempt to re-engage the warp drive. We need the conditions of space around the shuttle at the moment of warp failure.
Yep.
Resuming
Yep.
simulation.
Exactly. Let's go.
Error in warp field calculation. Cochrane formula variables are out of range.
That right there. Take the shuttle sensor data from that moment.
Computer, why did the warp field calculation fail?
Warp field pressure returned non-orthogonal. Results are undefined.
That doesn't help.
Wait, what if we use a different ship?
Put the Resolute into the simulation instead of the shuttle.
Yeah, it should warp just fine. Unless... Computer, run the simulation with the Resolute.
Resolute simulated.
Computer, give me manual control on the warp power.
All right. Okay. I'm loving this. Like I'm really curious to see.
Static field intensity, warp 1.1.
Okay.
1.2. 3. Warp pressure is destabilizing. Error in warp field calculation. The warp drive has experienced a system-wide cascade failure. Warp field collapsed. Subspace variance is out of tolerance. Cochrane formula results are undefined.
Bingo.
What-o?
The same moment when the shuttle failed to warp, so did the ship. Whatever happened to the shuttle just happened to us. The Resolute will not sustain warp.
We can't leave Hotari space.
Oh. That's a big problem then. Because if he gets to... Oh, that's a nice looking ship.
Ambassador Spock, Captain Solana, welcome to Hotari. We are honored you've come. My name is Tylos Altaris, Minister of Diplomatic Affairs.
The honor is ours, and this is Commander Jara Rydick, first officer aboard the USS Resolute. You'll find she has a keen mind, and unique insight into the dynamics between the Hotari and the Illidians.
Well, we are honored to be here.
We are honored to be here as representatives of the Federation.
I'm so glad.
These must be the representatives of the mighty Federation, the reigning authority in the galaxy. Or so we've been led to believe. Whether that's true or not remains to be seen. But, either way, we're grateful you've made the time to come to our little corner of the universe.
And you are?
This is Galvin, and this is Citron, the heroes of the revolt in the mines.
Okay, the other guys. I was confused while he looked
Let's hope this
mean.
is the last time we ever have to come here.
Oh, another
If
few
you'll
fellow.
excuse me.
I think we're about to begin.
Did you hear the arrogance from that guy? I don't know what we're walking into here. But that guy was something.
Let's keep an open mind.
That may be true. But let's keep an open mind going into the negotiations. Hopefully he's just one voice amongst many.
Then let's hope he's the outlier.
The Hotari have invited us as their guests, so we must show them the proper respect.
No effect on my choice there? Thought maybe Spock would have liked that. Or the open mind thing. Or don't give me a choice. Short difference. I was thinking about showing strength, but
Ambassador Spock, welcome to Holtari Prime.
The honor is mine, Your Majesty.
That the Federation would send one of their most respected representatives is not only an honor to the Hotari people and their queen, but a recognition of our stature and importance.
Let's get on with it, shall we?
okay,
With all
evaluate the
due
arguments.
respect to the Federation and their ambassador, they have no authority here. We are not members of their alliance. We are not subject to their rule, nor yours. We demand the immediate return of all mining operations to Illidian control, as it has been for centuries and will be for centuries more. That has always been our understanding.
That understanding has changed.
Then you invite war.
And if you cannot remain silent, you will be silenced. But his point is well taken. What is the Federation's interest in this matter? Perhaps you would have us trade one oppressor for another?
The Federation remains neutral. Our only interest is the peaceful resolution of this conflict. We are here at your request, Your Majesty.
For now.
I'm trying to keep an open mind here, but it's not easy.
Oh, shut up.
I thought they wanted us here.
I think we're not exactly liked.
Was there something you wanted to say, Captain?
Oh, no. My apologies.
And what about the Kobliad?
She's not
She can speak for herself, can't she? Then let her.
Is this gonna be the choice that I picked?
Now then, what is your name?
Commander Jara Rydek, Your Majesty.
Being a Kobliad, you would know better than anyone. Your people suffered brutal treatment at the hands of the Cardassians. Their injustice towards the Kobliad is as unimaginable as it is unforgivable. Not unlike how we have been treated by the Elidians.
As much as they'd have you believe they are the victims here, remember it was the Hotari who attacked us. Hundreds of innocent Elidians were slaughtered without mercy in those mines.
The blood is on their hands, not ours.
Quiet! If after all the Kobliad suffered, you finally had the chance to right that wrong, to get out from under their control, would you take it? Or would you negotiate a peace?
Right. Okay, I can pause. I need to think about this. Right, I see what she's trying to do. Like, garnish sympathy for her cause, and I kind of see where they're coming from. And, well, this argument, they mentioned Cardassians, so this kind of looks like something similar to what happened with Bajor. So what would I do? What are my choices here? So I would right the wrong, I would seek peace. So basically chose a militaristic path or try to move past everything that happened and do better. Or we can stay neutral. I'm gonna go with I would seek peace.
There is no remedy for what the Kobliad suffered. And I fear who we might have become in pursuit of it. There is no justice if the oppressed become the oppressor.
Exactly.
So I would willingly accept a peaceful resolution if it were offered. That is the real opportunity.
Okay, I think
Perhaps,
Spock.
Commander Rydek. Perhaps. Unfortunately, that was not the case, was it?
No, it was not.
Peace is often elusive to those who need it most. The Federation is the most powerful, most advanced alliance in the galaxy. It's widely known we have an abundance of dilithium in our mines. And it's in your interest to secure a steady supply.
Your Majesty, if I may.
Ambassador Spock would have us believe you're here as a neutral party in the interest of peace. So why are you really here? I want the truth, not your Federation rhetoric.
I mean, yeah, we want only peace, but the dilithium is a factor as well. I mean, it serves the Federation's interest as well. But should we... Thing is, this is not exactly a private conversation. So the Elidians will hear that, yeah, we're kind of have an interest on the dilithium. And then maybe they can spin it around and say, like, see, you're gonna go choose another oppressor, in a way. But then if we hide it and we're not truthful, it might backfire much more worse. I'm gonna be... Yes, it's true, dilithium is a factor.
It's possible the Federation has an interest in both peace and securing a steady source of dilithium. One does not preclude or prevent the other. But that's just my personal opinion.
Given the Federation has done business with the Elidians for decades, I would agree. It's entirely possible, if not highly likely.
What they haven't said, but cannot deny, is a simple truth. The dilithium trade would not and will no longer exist without Elidian involvement. We created it for the benefit of everyone, especially the Hotari. We've given them warp technology. We've let them share in the profits. We've made their lives infinitely better than before dilithium was discovered. All of that goes away if the Federation turns a blind eye to their treachery.
That is enough of your lies! The Hotari are quite capable of running the mines. We've done so for centuries. So tell me, who deserves control of the dilithium trade and the mines on town? Who should the Federation recognize? The Hotari or the Elidians?
Right. Okay, Captain Solano thought Jara handled a complex situation as well as could be expected when the Hotari Queen put her on the spot in the Queen's chamber. And this is like a neutral reaction, actually. And Ambassador Spock thought Jara performed well under pressure when she was being questioned by the Hotari Queen. Huh. I mean, what's written here looks like it's a bit more on the positive side, but I'm surprised it was shown as neutral. Okay, so this. Yes, the aliens came from outside, they stake a claim on it, but it's in a Hotari system. Which kinda leans me towards to choose the Hotari in this matter. Because yeah, if the Hotari would have developed warp drive on their own, then yeah, they would have had the planet. You know, they would have found the lithium mines on Tau and all that. So that's what I'm thinking. I was like, at least you have the home system would be to the civilization that inhabits that system. So that's your civilization has control over that entire system, regardless if somebody comes from outside. If this was, let's say, in another system, and the Elidians brought the Hotari along and all that, then I would go for Elidians. But for now, yeah, I'm gonna go Hotari.
Only be one or the other, not both.
If I have to choose only one, then it would have to be the Hotari.
Well said. How could the just and wise Federation make any other choice?
Oh, this is an outrage. The Federation has lost all credibility.
The mines are ours. Lydia will not be deterred. We will take back our mines by any means necessary.
Then you will see more blood spilled.
I am more than willing to address your concerns, Your Majesty. Yours as well, Representative. But I suggest we could have a more productive conversation with a smaller group. Perhaps only the most essential representatives.
I suppose there is some sense to that.
Don't know if this went well.
I hope we meet again, Jara Ryder.
Spock and I will cover everything on the diplomatic front. You make nice with the locals and see if you can get some answers. We need to find out why the Hotari are so willing to risk war. What happened in those mines?
Or and if it's related with Storm as well.
The captain and ambassador have it handled. I've got my own mission.
Okay. Can I run? Perfect, I can run. Siege run.
Commander, I'm glad you've chosen to side with the Hotari. I knew the Federation would see through the Elidians' baseless claims and protect the interests of my people.
I'm not on either side, sorry.
To be clear, I'm not on either side of this conflict. Our only interest is peace.
I will keep that in mind.
I assume you were there, the day the mines were seized from the Elidians.
Not seized, reclaimed, and restored to their rightful owners. Yes, I was there. We had to be decisive, before the Elidians could even realize their worst nightmares upon them.
But don't you fear retaliation?
I'm curious why the Elidians haven't fought back. They have the ability to retake the mines anytime they want.
Ability is one thing, courage is another. The Elidians know any hostile action on their part will not end well. They respect one thing above all else, and that is force. The greater the force, the more certain the outcome. Any talk of making peace is just that, and worth little without the strength to secure it. Which makes me wonder about your ship, the Resolute. Undoubtedly the Federation's finest warship.
Yeah.
Ready to contend with anything the Elidians might have in store. Or is that not true? Maybe I've misjudged it.
Ha. Okay. Yeah, it can hold its own.
I wouldn't say state of the art, but the Resolute is plenty capable and can hold its own against just about anything.
Let's hope so. Because at the moment, it's the only thing preventing them from wiping us off the map.
Sidron.
A pleasure meeting you, Commander. I'm sure we'll cross paths again.
Are they banking that we will help them, like attack and all that?
Soothing.
Commander Rydek, I'm encouraged to see the Federation supporting my people. I'm afraid of what might happen without your help.
Well, Ambassador Spock deserves the praises.
If anyone deserves thanks, it's Ambassador Spock. No one is more invested in negotiating a peaceful settlement to this conflict than he is.
I'm so glad. We need his help before the situation escalates further than it already has. It's been very trying. I saw you speaking with Sidron, our national hero. I'm curious, what did he say?
He seems to be of the opinion that negotiating for peace is a waste of time.
Because force is the only blunt instrument he understands. He's a miner, not a diplomat. For the first time in our history, the Hotari have the upper hand. We see ourselves as strong instead of downtrodden. New voices have risen up. Old voices shouted down. Galvin and Sidron have become national heroes. Now, they have the Queen's ear. Better or worse, depending on your perspective.
So they are against peace? I mean, that makes sense.
I take it they're against a negotiated peace with the Elidians.
Heroes tend to want more of what made them heroic. If it were up to them, they'd wage all-out war and bring ruin upon us all. My fear has been that the Illidians will launch an attack and crush us. You've seen their starship, no doubt. They could have retaken the mines whenever they wanted to, but it never happened. And as strange as this may sound, I'd almost say they're afraid. I just don't know what they're afraid of. It's still the same bluster and bravado you would expect from them. But it has no teeth. Like they're afraid of what might happen.
Could have had something to do with the Ion Storm.
Do you think it has something to do with the Ion Storm? Right now, it's stronger than ever, isn't it?
It's entirely possible. I'm not a scientist, but I do know the storm has knocked out all kinds of systems. So maybe the Illidians weren't willing to risk their ships, given all the interference. Since the day of the revolt, Galvin has seized control of the mines and restricted all access. No one's allowed without his personal authorization. And they've taken over a section of the palace with just as much secrecy and security. I'm told it could be something they brought back from the mines. I've made inquiries, but everyone pretends it doesn't exist. I strongly suspect they're hiding something.
You're certain of this?
Are you sure of this?
It's been the talk of the palace since the day of the revolt.
How can we know?
I'd better see what's happening.
Do you think you can find out what they're hiding? I need to see proof of something before I can make my case to the Federation.
I can try, but even if I found it, I might not know what to make of it.
Take this. You can use it to capture whatever you find, and then send it to me.
Thank you. I will let you know what I find. And I look forward to our meeting again.
Okay, so you gave the
Sorry,
tricorder.
I couldn't help but notice you were speaking with the Hotari this whole time. I figured in the interest of fairness, I should offer another perspective.
Of course.
I'm probably not telling you anything you don't already know, but these negotiations rely on the Federation's neutrality, as does any hope you might have for a supply of dilithium in the future. So, why you would choose to side with the Hotari escapes me. Without Illidian involvement, there is no dilithium trade. But clearly, you weren't aware.
I mean, we remain neutral. That's clear.
We are and will remain completely neutral. Our only interest is the peaceful resolution to this conflict.
As is ours. Of course, the question is, at what price? Major Sarlet Arminta, Special Attaché, Illidian Armed Forces. Pleasure to meet you, Commander. I have my issues with the Hotari, but I have to give them some credit. They know how to seize an opportunity. Inciting an uprising the same day as a massive, once-in-a-lifetime ion storm.
Our assumption was that this storm was just an anomaly.
Yes, a very convenient anomaly.
Exactly.
At least that was what we were told. Of course, I wasn't there. But who am I to say otherwise?
So do you know what really happened?
Something tells me there's more to the story. So what really happened?
Well, the official story is that it was the storm that enabled the revolt. How else do a bunch of unarmed, unorganized miners seize control of an entire moon, much less thousands of mines? But I've talked to people who were there. They tell a different story. They say they're lucky to have escaped with their lives. That it was more than just the storm. That somehow the miners were able to harness the energy from the storm. I know it sounds crazy. I'm not even sure I believe it myself. But that's what they said.
Huh. That might help.
You just answered your own question. How do a group of miners do something that in theory can't be done? That's how. Harnessing the storm.
But even if it's true. How does that even happen?
You tell me.
If you'll excuse me, Commander Ryder.
Okay. So it does kind of starts to point out that the storm is kind of artificial in nature. As, I mean, the occurrence of it. Right, this is actually a bit on the longer side of the chapter. But yeah, the episode is gonna be on the longer side as well, because I don't know when we're gonna end this part. Or when this part is gonna end.
Well, that was a disaster.
What happened?
The Hotari refused to concede anything, so the Elydians stormed out.
The Hotari did not invite us here as peacekeepers. I hope your efforts were more fruitful than ours.
I think it were.
Gravitational harmonics failing to resolve. Warp bubble stability degrading. Increase output to maximum.
Increasing warp output to maximum.
It's happening again.
It is evident that presently, the Resolute cannot achieve warp propulsion.
Since our diagnostics rule out any problems with our warp systems or anything about the ship, the problem appears to be the fabric of space itself.
Space itself? You're saying something about this region of space prevents warp travel?
Prevents it, or can't sustain it.
However improbable, that appears to be the case.
We need to know more.
Otherwise, it'll be an extended stay in the Hotari system.
The storm didn't stop us from leaving space dock and traveling here. But could it still be causing this interference with warp travel?
We must follow sound investigatory principles. Do not let an assumed conclusion drive your analysis.
Sometimes we need a little inspired thinking, Mr. Chovak. Captain Solano is on his way back from the negotiations, and I want to have some answers for him when he gets here.
Indeed. Given the facts at hand, we may be able to deploy subspace probes around the ship to construct a clearer picture of the phenomenon.
Around the ship. I'll prep a shuttle.
Alright, so that was that chapter. Now we're on to the next one.
I'm setting up a waypoint at a distance roughly corresponding to the edge of our warp field. When we get there, I'll deploy the first probe.
Okay, so we have shuttle piloting. Can I pause? Ah, I did not read the controls. Anyway, should be easy. I have here in the info and all that controls. So nothing else in terms of what they thought about my decisions. Anyway, so this is interesting. If we can't warp out, that means the Elydian ship can't either. That might explain why they haven't decided to take the mines back by force. Because maybe they found that they cannot warp in or something like that, and they decided not to call in reinforcements because they knew the reinforcements will be stuck as well. Therefore, maybe there's something more with the storm. Could be used more as a weapon. I don't know, just throwing some thoughts out there. But yeah, I guess we'll see next time. For now, hopefully you enjoyed this episode, guys. And as always, don't forget to take care.